Okay, so we're ready to do the assembly on our rear wheel bearing assembly, and I'm using a setup tool. You can buy these from Corvette specialty shops, and if you do a lot of these, then this tool will actually save you a bunch of time. And what's cool about it is that it's machined so that these bearings are just hand tight on there, so you can slip them on and off and change out the shims to get the proper amount of bearing preload. So when I'm setting these up, I don't set them up with I don't do the setup with these bearings packed with grease. I only use a little bit of engine assembly lube on the race in the hub, because if you pack those bearings, then it's going to kind of throw off how tight that bearing actually is. And so you want to have a little bit of lubrication, but you don't want it to be fully packed with grease. Now, when you get your shims correctly and you finally pack them full of grease using a bearing packer like this, and you do your final assembly, it's going to feel probably a little bit too tight, but usually that's because you have seals that are dragging, you have yokes that are dragging, and then the bearings have to push their way through all of that grease. So for initial setup, we just want it to be with a little bit of assembly lube on the race. And so this guy goes together just like it would with the axle. Now our stock spacer sleeve is this one. It's just kind of a stamped steel or extruded bell-shaped one. When you're using the mock-up stub shaft, then you need to use one of these. They measure exactly the same. And since this one didn't actually have a shim in it, somebody set it up wrong, I'm going to start with the same. I'm going to start with the same shim thickness that the other side used. So you just go ahead and put the nut on and tighten it down and seat that bearing all the way against that spacer inside, and then you feel it. And you're feeling you want a little bit of drag, but what is most important is you don't want any in play this way or this way in the bearing. And so the easiest way to do that is to grab hold of here and kind of rock it back and forth and see if you can feel it clicking or clunking at all. And this actually is pretty good. So we got lucky. The other side, the same shims for the other side actually will work for both sides. So I'm going to take this apart. Take this guy apart. This is the beauty of having the mock-up tool, is because you don't need a press to get it out. Now I'm going to do one test fit with the actual axle, just to make sure that my dummy shaft is the same as the axle. So take a little bit of the assembly lube and put it on the areas where the bearings are going to go and where it's going to be tight. That'll prevent things from galling and requiring too much force. Assemble that like that, and like that. So I went ahead and test fit the axle to my hub with the correct spacer, and everything felt really good. So after that, I went ahead and put the seals in preparation. So backing plate's all ready to go. So now we're going to do the final assembly. So the backing plate goes on that, and the bearing assembly goes on like that. Now, at this point, you've got a couple of options. You can just take the race, or the yoke, and slip it on, making sure everything lines up the way that it should, and go over to the press and then just press all of this together. Or they make a special tool that threads onto your axle. You want to make sure that it seats all the way down against the shoulder. Then the sleeve goes over and it will press right on the inside. Slip that on there like that. Well, Jen's gone. Well, she's not gone yet, but she heads out for Texas today. So once you get the bearings seated all the way down, you just want to make sure that this spindle support actually moves and feels really good, and it actually feels pretty darn nice. So we got the shim in there correctly. Now we can blast this guy off. It's important to use a tool and not pound this stuff on, because if you just pound this together, then you risk screwing up the actual oil seals. And whatever you do, don't forget to get your backing plate on there, and then also make sure that you don't pinch your backing plate between your spindle support and your axle flange. Oh, never mind. You got it? Yeah. Okay, so now everything's good. This goes down, obviously. It's time to slip this guy in. And if you look on the backing plate, it's got a hole there. That's for the parking brake. This brake line clip goes up, and the parking brake hole goes towards the front of the vehicle near your bushing. Okay, now we're on the home stretch. We just have to install the dust shield. And then after we install the dust shield, we can go ahead and put the flange yoke back on, the nut, and the cotter pin. So dust shield goes on pretty easily. I use a big bearing race and a giant piece of pipe to pound that race on, or that dust shield on, and get it started on there. Flange yoke, the thick washer.
Black oxide all the way.
Cotter pin tight. One final check. Feels really good. Done.